Elizabeth Stux, and he's going to tell the world what he wants the world to know about his heritage and his experience with the Holocaust as a second-generation Holocaust survivor. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I guess I wouldn't call myself a Holocaust survivor per se, because I'm one of the people that was born in Shanghai. My parents were fortunate enough to get out of Vienna while they still could, and they spent 11 years in Shanghai from 1938 until 1949, at which time they moved to Australia with me, who at the time was 3 years old. Their time in Shanghai they thought was rather hard until they learned what was going on outside at the time, of which of course they had no knowledge at all, being in Shanghai where there was essentially nothing available in the way of news from the outside world. So only later did they learn what had happened, and that nobody of, in particular my mother's large family, was left. In 1949 we all moved to Australia, and we lived there, and I was brought up there. I went to school there, I married there, had one child, and then we moved to the United States, to the Boston area, where we were for the next 30 odd years until we moved to Florida. My mother and father were very principled people, and they instilled that in me. They were proudly Jewish in a traditional way, but certainly not in any kind of religious way. And I'm certainly, I believe, following in those footsteps. I am very proudly Jewish, but without any really religious conviction. But I certainly feel that I want to do the right thing. I want to honour my parents in particular and their heritage by doing what they would want me to do. And I feel that I can do that without the fear of something higher threatening, or whatever you might like to call, to do it. I think my wife mentioned when she was here that I'm a very principled person, something that sometimes gets on her goat a little, but that's just how I am, and that's how I live my life. As I said, I always primarily try and live my way live my life in a way that I think my parents would be happy to see that that's what I'm living. That's my belief, that's my tradition, and that's what I hope that we've passed on to our kids. And from what I see of their lives so far, I think that we've done a good job. I mean, they're both good kids. My younger son's family is very similar to in their upbringing to ours, obviously with the differences of the modern generation, who bring up their kids in a way that we're sometimes horrified at. But then I think that our parents were probably horrified in the way we brought up our kids too. So that's something that is always going on from generation to generation. But overall, I think that we have good kids, and I think that our one son that has children, by and large, they're pretty good kids too. So I think that the heritage and the traditions that I believe in, we've passed on, and it seems to me that they're being passed on to the next generation after ours, and I hope that will continue, because I think that they're very worthwhile thoughts and beliefs, and that's what I would like the world to know.